there were these notes and all this different stuff found in his cell when there was like some sort of raid that went down, and that this stuff is basically allegedly showing that he's been trying to sway jurors, he's been trying to sway potential witnesses, and just the public opinion using social media. And they found out about the communication on the three-way calls because the calls are monitored, so they can use that.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid.
Magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, my concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors.
Diddy Combs' prison cell was struck by the FBI, and what they found inside could change everything. Even really stunning, Diddy's legitimate group is blaming government specialists for disregarding his freedoms. Are these cases substantial, or is this simply an interruption from the XP explosive proof found during the raid? Let's not fail to remember Diddy supposedly endeavored to connect with observers from in the slammer. Is he coordinating a concealment, or is this an instance of equity turned out badly? We should begin with the strike that has got everybody talking. The FBI cleared Diddy's prison cell as a component of an arranged activity focusing on booty. What they found was stunning manually written notes, all purportedly examining installments to witnesses and procedures to ruin his informers. Examiners guarantee this is immediate proof of check of justice, but that is not all. Among the 11 pages and 8 schedule book passages seized were in guidelines for his family to uncover soil on 2 casualties. Examiners contend that this shows Diddy's purpose to control the result of his preliminary. Yet, is there more going on in the background? And Diddy's lawful group isn't accepting this without a fight. They've hammered the strike as a glaring infringement of his privileges, guaranteeing the held onto notes are safeguarded by legal right to privacy. Might this intense guard system at any point save him, or will the hazardous items in these notes eclipse his contentions? The assault occurred at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detainment place, where Diddy has been held since his capture on September 16th. As per investigators, the notes found in his phone illustrated plans to block equity, including guidelines for relatives to contact possible observers and find compromising data on casualties. Colleague us lawyer Christy Slavic asserted in court that these notes were not favored. Rather, they uncovered an unmistakable example of impedance, including affirmed installments to a formerly denied observer. Charges against Diddy, investigators contend, this is essential for part of a bigger technique to control the preliminaries result. Right now, legal right to privacy, the foundation of any fair preliminary, is at the core of Diddy's guard. His lawful group is guaranteeing that the FBI's attack on his prison cell was an excess as well as an immediate assault on his established privileges. Yet, is this case substantial, or is it a distraction to redirect from the implicating proof found in those notes' imprint? Agnifilo contends that the notes seized during the strike were private correspondences connected with Diddy's protection methodology, as would be natural for him. They were not directions for criminal behavior, but rather a guide for how to explore the legitimate tempest encompassing the case. As per Agillo, this strike addresses a total institutional disappointment, and he's requesting the court toss out undeniably held on to proof as prohibited. Yet examiners see things contrastingly. They contend that legal right to privacy doesn't stretch out to records. That diagram intends to discourage equity. Collaborator us lawyer Christy Slavic expressed in court, these notes are not safeguarded on the grounds that they relate to criminal lead and can't be protected. Assuming some pretense of honor, the court has been left to gauge these contentions and what could turn into a milestone administering for high-profile criminal case. Adding to the intricacy, the court isn't just scrutinizing the legitimateness of the assault, yet additionally its timing. Was this activity an essential move to corner Diddy's safeguard group, or was it a vital stage to safeguard basic proof? Adjudicator Submainen's decision to hold the first notes while disposing of duplicates mirrors this sensitive balance. From the second the assault happened, charges of witness altering have posed a potential threat. Over this case, investigators charge that even while in jail, Diddy has been working eagerly to impact the observers set to affirm against him. Yet how can he supposedly do this? The response lies in a path of telephone records bank proclamations, and dubiously planned explanations from key people for the situation. One of the most cursing bits of proof is a progression of prison calls, where Diddy supposedly educated his family to contact Observer 2, a lady who had recently blamed him for Savage Direct, as per Examiner's witness. 2 posted a public proclamation denying these claims soon after the considers, raising doubts about the planning of her withdrawal. Yet, that is not all. Diddy likewise settled on an upsetting telephone decision to his child that has since been spilled to the public. The supposed jail call among Diddy and his child has left the web humming on a superficial level. It seems like a dad carefully guiding his child, yet dig somewhat more profound. And it begins to feel like something straight out of a wrongdoing thrill ride. Diddy starts off the call by advance notice his child to not engage. No part of this hogwash on the telephone seems like innocuous counsel, right? Yet here's how could he say this, except if he's stressed over the call being observed. It's an unobtrusive yet solid clue that Diddy realizes a lot is on the line. All that he says could be utilized as proof. And this opening alone makes way for what feels like a coded discussion. Then all of a sudden comes the principal eyebrow raiser, dispose of all the extra pizza boxes now, except if Diddy unexpectedly become a bad to the bone recycler from in jail. This feels dubious. What precisely are these pizza boxes? Some believe it's code for reports or other actual proof that he needs obliterated, and it doesn't stop. There he adds, ensure you reuse the plastic like we discussed. Maybe he's guiding his child to tidy up a wreck, yet one that probably won't include genuine junk. The web has rushed to bounce on this, with many contemplating whether this could be important for a greater concealment then. The discussion movements to Jay-Z. Diddy inquires as to whether Jay has connected at this point, just to hear that he's been ghosting. That is fascinating in light of the fact that the two are known to be tight, and Jay-Z separating himself during Diddy's ongoing legitimate show. Feels determined. Could this mean Jay-Z is staying away to abstain from being ensnared in anything? Or is he quietly helping in manners? We don't as yet know. All of a sudden, Diddy turns to discuss a Netflix project. Let the maker in on. There's a delivery date for that new Netflix film. Sure, it could be the same old thing. Yet the timing feels odd. Some guess that this also may be code for something different in the realm of high-profile embarrassments. Everyday terms like delivery date or Netflix can undoubtedly twofold as mystery messages implied for a particular crowd. As the discussion proceeds, with Diddy's dissatisfaction begins to show, he grumbles that everyone out there is tranquil as F. This would appear to be a venting second, yet it additionally alludes to something more profound. Who is keeping silent, and for what reason? Is it dread dependability or something totally different? Then Diddy tends to the claims against him and excuses them through and through. Ain't not a single one of them. Getting is I ain't worthless. Ain't got nothing in my name. That is a strong case, particularly considering the heap of lawful difficulty he's confronting. Is this Diddy's approach to saying his resources are secured, or that he's been key about concealing them close to the furthest limit of it? Call Diddy specifies a rundown. What list, who's on it, and for what reason is it so significant? The absence of setting here has sent fear-inspired notions into overdrive. Is this rundown connected with witnesses' transactions or something more vile without replies?
There was an emergency hearing called this afternoon at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid.
I love y'all. I love y'all so much.
We love you too.
Love you, Pastor.
I can't wait to see y'all.
Yep.
Can't wait to see y'all. And I just want to say I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all, especially the girls. I mean, all of y'all. But just for being strong.
It's hard not to allow your creative mind to roam free. In the meantime, examiners charge that Shaw Diddy Brushes has been utilizing different detainees' pack numbers to settle on unapproved telephone decisions from prison. A pack number, basically a jail telephone pin, is utilized by prisoners for check calls to the rest of the world by purportedly paying prisoners to utilize their pack numbers. Diddy might have been bypassing the framework to settle on untraceable decisions. Confusing endeavors to recognize his contacts and discussions adding to the debate. Monetary records supposedly show an exchange to a record connected to a vital figure for the situation distinguished as witness 2. The exchange happened only days before witness 2 openly denied claims against Diddy. Examiners contend that this installment was essential for a conscious exertion organized by Diddy's partners, for his sake to quietness informers and impact the case. They view the timing and nature of these exchanges as more than happenstance, depicting them as determined control Diddy's safeguard group anyway has firmly denied. These allegations, as lawyer Imprint Agnifilo called the case speculative and lacking direct proof. Agnifilo contends that the indictment is making a story to unreasonably criticize Diddy in the public eye without substantial evidence of bad behavior. Regardless of these dissents, the blend of unapproved calls, monetary exchanges, and observer to explanation reinforces the indictment's contention on the off chance that these cases hold up in court. They could bring about extra charges of witness, further confounding Diddy's guard, and fundamentally harming his case. While Diddy's fights in court rage on in court, an alternate sort of war is being pursued. Web-based investigators are likewise blaming Diddy for planning virtual entertainment crusades from jail. One specific PR stunt was during Diddy's birthday, when every one of his children called him in the video shared by his child. Justin Dior Combs, the troubled hip-hop head honcho, could be heard on the telephone, conversing with his children in what's one of the main Times General Society has heard the senior Combs voice since his capture.
Magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, "My concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors."
Subsequent to telling Combs they cherished him too, his children likewise let them know that they couldn't stand by to see him in 2 or 3 days last month. In an explanation via virtual entertainment, his children communicated their help for their father after he was captured and prosecuted and accused of Steph King and racketeering the previous month, as crushed our family. The assertion read, "Many have made a decision about both him and us, in light of allegations, paranoid fears, and bogus stories that have spiraled into ludicrousness via online entertainment. We stand joined supporting you constantly. We clutch reality, realizing it will win, and nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you." Father Quincy, earthy-colored Christian Lord Brushes, and twins Delilah and Jesse Brushes likewise put out an announcement after Alb Shore, the R&B vocalist and Brown's natural dad, required an examination to be opened into Watchman's demise. "We are profoundly disheartened that the world has made an exhibition of what has been the most grievous occasion of our lives. Our mom ought to be associated with the wonderful, solid, kind, and cherishing lady she was. Her memory ought not be polluted by horrendous paranoid ideas." The assertion read at the time, "We ask that everybody kindly regard our mom, Kim, supper her, and respect her inheritance so she might find happiness in the hereafter. It's what she merits. We love you and miss you, Mama Quincy, Christian, Jesse, and Delilah. In the meantime, an appointed authority has requested government investigators to obliterate 19 pages of transcribed notes having a place with Sean Diddy Combs. Notes were seized during a strike at the Metropolitan Confinement Place in Brooklyn, where Brushes is being held without bail. The choice came during a new hearing where the appointed authority, Aaron Subramanian, decided that investigators ought to didn't hold the reports. The conference denoted Combs' most memorable appearance without lower leg shackles, a change conceded at the guard's solicitation. He seemed loose and feeling great, grinning at the crowd and embracing his legitimate group. As he entered the court, Combs' protection lawyer Imprint Agnifilo contended that the held onto notes were safeguarded under legal right to confidentiality, holding up a pile of papers, envelopes, and scratch pads. Agnifilo featured that Combs had marked a large number of the pages with the word legitimate. He demanded the items related to conversations among Combs and his legal counselors, depicting the seizure as a huge disappointment. With respect to the specialists, examiners anyway stood up against the guard's case's partner. Us lawyer Christy Slavic contended that essentially stamping something as legitimate doesn't make it favored. She kept up with that the notes were gotten through appropriate systems and ought not be prohibited from thought. The notes played had an influence in the arraignment's prior contentions to deny Combs bail. They guaranteed the material proposed Brushes might have taken care of. A possible observer anyway, with this managing the appointed authority demonstrated he wouldn't consider that guarantee his impending bail choice. This consultation comes as Combs keeps on pushing for his delivery in front of preliminary. His legitimate group has proactively had 3 bail demands denied. However, they are currently offering what they portray as an improved bail bundle. The proposition stresses that Combs isn't flight hazard, expecting to influence the court's choice after past difficulties. A portion of the circumstances inside the bundle incorporate a $50 million security got by the value Andy C. and his mom's Florida home's execution of a $247 checking administration by endorsed security. Staff, they likewise added that the rapper will have no web or telephone access beyond gatherings with lawful guidance, a pre-supported guest list comprising of select relatives, and gave up visas having a place with the rapper and his relatives. A choice on the bail demand still can't seem to be reached, yet bureaucratic examiners are contending energetically to guarantee it is denied by an ad report documented last Friday. They guarantee that the rapper represents a serious gamble of obstacle risk and flight. They additionally referenced that Diddy has attempted to discourage his SC violations case by putting forth attempts to freely spill materials he sees as accommodating to his case, as well as kicking off media crusades that are in the most natural sounding way for him, pointed towards spoiling the jury pool. However, it appears to be that the lawyers could likewise be getting some intensity from Diddy's observers. Lawyer Tony Busby, who is addressing a few affirmed casualties in bodies of evidence against Shaw Diddy brushes, is currently engaged with his own claim. An anonymous male VIP blamed Busby and his firm on Monday, November 18th, of boldly endeavoring to coerce over-the-top aggregates from him, or, in all likelihood, freely document stunningly misleading, terrible charges against him, as per court records got by CNN. The offended party documented the objection with the Los Angeles Unrivaled Court under a John Doe nom de plume, affirmed in the recording that Busby's firm is endeavoring to exploit the unstable charges against Shaw Combs by pulling in individuals of note who have been familiar with Diddy in the past, as per Doe. Busby supposedly sent him an interest letter recently to support his arguments against Diddy. Doe asserted in his documenting that Busby's firm taken steps to release altogether created and acious charges of SAW that incorporate numerous examples of a minor, both male and female. Assuming that their client will not conform to their requests, Doe's lawyers guarantee that Busby described the popular client as having been companions with Mr. Combs in view of the way that the two frequently gone to comparable occasions visited by famous people. Doe's legitimate group proceeded with these unmerited allegations are just a weapon in a determined plot to annihilate offended parties' high-profile notoriety for benefit. In spite of the total shortfall of any genuine reason for such cases, the claim asserted. Busby answered the claim in a proclamation by means of Instagram last Monday, charging that snooze documenting is a final desperate effort to prevent me from uncovering names and open claims. He noticed that the strategy won't work and promised to continue to battle. We will not permit the strong and their high-dollar legal counselors to threaten or quietness SAW survivors. It has been accounted for that a claim has been documented against my firm guaranteeing blackmail, Busby said in his explanation. The legal advisors that recorded it likewise quickly called TMZ in an evident work to quiet the people who charge SAW. The lawyer asserted the body of evidence recorded against my firm isn't just without lawful legitimacy, it is bizarre. Here's the reason for 2 clients who claim exposition. We sent a standard interest letter to a New York legal advisor that we know addresses a supposed culprit and potential litigant. The letters were sent looking for a secret intercession in lie of documenting a claim. Busby proceeded with no measure of cash was included in the interest letters. No dangers were made. The interest letters sent are the same than the ones regularly sent by legal advisors the nation over in a wide range of cases. Busby called Doe's claim trivial and demanded it is a forceful endeavor to threaten or quietness me and eventually my clients. He closed, daylight is the best sanitizer. I have certainty that with full open exposure this will get itself straightened out. Diddy's Allsboard. Erica Wolf additionally remarked on Doe's cases, letting us know week by week in a proclamation on Tuesday, November 19th. The coercion claim against Mr. Busby uncovered his blast of claims against Mr. Condoms for what they are indecent exposure stunts.